Hi, I'm Jason Loughlin, and this is Home Recording for Guitarists, presented on the UA Apollo. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 basic delay settings. Alright, so my first setting is a good long delay. Alright, so I'm going to come over here to the console, and I have my precision delay, and I got that by going to the delay menu, where I have all these great echoes and delays, and I selected the precision delay down there. This is a plugin that comes with a UA Apollo. All right, so let's listen to that, and then I'll talk through my settings and why I choose that. So just first, so you could hear how many repeats and the level of the echo compared to the initial attack, I'm just going to play a couple staccato notes just so you could hear it. Okay. So it's there, but it's not overwhelming the initial attacks. It's just kind of adding support. So let me show you, like, this is something that you would use in modern blues, modern country, rock, just anytime you want to add some depth, but you're not really looking for the delay effect to be really heard strongly by, the listener. Now, really good for modern country too, where you don't want the classic slapback delay all the time. Sometimes you want a longer kind of delay. Okay, again, it's kind of giving you a little bit of slapback, but you have that length, and it's taking you into that more modern country world where, there's a lot more rock influence going on. Okay, so let me show you some of the parameters that I tweaked to get that sound. All right, so the length over here, when the delay kicks in, this is something I would normally set to tempo. So if you notice down here at the bottom of the console, I have this little tempo button here, and I could click on that and I could enter in the exact BPM of whatever the track is that I'm playing over. And if I'm unsure and I just want to get it close and I don't want to go try to figure out what that was, if it's just a backing track you're jamming over, just use this little tap tempo button, and that will get you close to the tempo of the tune. So, I'll say, okay, let's say I'm playing in, let's say it's, 76 BPM. Type that in. Now it's saved. Now I could come up here and hit sync, and that means that this delay now is working at that tempo. And if you notice over here, this little setting has changed now to subdivisions of that tempo. So I could set this to 1/8 notes. Okay, now I have something that's going to be in more time and kind of sink into a track a little bit more. So that's what I would kind of do here normally with this kind of longer delay. All right, so over here with repeats, I have this set, usually I have it set between 1 and 2 seconds. And I'll dial it in depending on the tempo of the song. Okay, now over here on the mix knob, if I want to kind of crank this up, this will adjust the volume of the echo. And we'll get it to a point where it's definitely heard by the listener and takes me into a different territory sound-wise. You're really hearing that. So, and if, want to dial that back, I could dial that back to where it's kind of tucked in a little bit. That's really the only big change I would make to get this to a point where, delay guitar. Otherwise, I like to start from a point where it's just more kind of felt and not perceived, and then I could tweak easily from there. All right, my second delay setting is a really easy tweak from the first. So the first thing that I did was I brought up the volume of my echo over here. So I got this to about 12% now. Okay, so now we can really hear the volume of that echo. I might bring that up a little bit more in a minute. But the next thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn up this modulation rate. Okay, so this is going to affect how fast the modulation's happening. And then depth is how pitchy basically it's going to get. So I'm going to keep that pretty low because I'm not trying to give a listener's seasickness. I'm just trying to kind of get into Memory Man territory here, kind of like the Edge guitar sound a little bit. So I'm going to play this staccato so you could hear the repeats and hear the modulation. That's nice. That's subtle, but I like it. Maybe I'll increase the rate a little bit. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit of chorusing. Cool. So now, a lot of people associate this sound with the Edge, but honestly, I find this to be a pretty useful sound, and I do use it in a ton of different musical situations. All right, the last delay setting that I'm going to show you is probably the one that I use the most because I play a lot of country, played a lot of rockabilly, and slapback echo is a big part of both of those sounds. So let me show you the things that I do to get a good slapback, and then some of the things that I tweak to kind of stylize it a little bit more. So first thing I did was I took this out of sync mode. I don't need this to be in time necessarily. And I went over here and I'm setting my delay here to really anywhere between like 170 and 200 milliseconds. I'm just going to ballpark it there. And then there we go. That sounds good. With the repeats here, I don't want more than one repeat. So I'm dialing this way back. So I'm just getting one repeat, or at least one really noticeable repeat. And then for right now, I have the modulation set to 0. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, mix knob. This is your country to rockabilly sound. So if you have this set pretty low, where you're hearing the slap, but it's not competing with the attack, you have a pretty good country guitar slappy telly sound. There we go. We got a good slap, and you could dial into taste, but generally I try to set it about there. Now, if I want to get a good rockabilly sound, I'm probably going to crank this up and get it to match the attack or be really close the attack. So now I have that extra attack every time I hit a note. Okay, another quick tip. So we have this set to no modulation. This is going to be a very clean slap, like a digital delay kind of thing. So if I want to, make it sound a little bit more like a tape delay or a tape echo, I'm going to just kind of bring up this modulation rate to about there. Remember, we only have one repeat, so I don't want to be too modest with this because we have to hear it. And then I'm going to bring the depth up a little bit. Okay, let's see if we could hear that. So I could hear it dipping a little bit pitch-wise. There it is before, and then here it is after. Yeah, so like right at the tail end of the echo, you hear the pitch kind of dip and tweak a little bit. And that's enough. That's enough to kind of bring me into tape echo world. Okay, now I got a good rockabilly sound. So for me, having a good slapback is really important because it's what I do a lot. It's also good if I want to get a room sound. I could kind of trick a listener into thinking my guitar is in a room by setting a slapback and recreating room tone. But what's also important is knowing how to tweak all these little parameters so you could stylize your slap to say country or rockabilly or rock or a room sound. So play around with those things. If you're ever in doubt or ever want to kind of open up your ears, remember you have all the presets as good starting points, and you could tweak from there. I hope this made using the delay plugin a little bit more friendly. Have fun dialing in your own sounds, and remember you have all those presets to kind of open your ears to different possibilities and to use for inspiration. Thanks for watching the video. My name is Jason Loughlin. Please be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. This way we can let you know about new videos when they come out.